Yo, welcome to the channel. Damn, that felt kinda forced. How you supposed to make an intro? If somehow you stumble across this video thanks to the algorithm, then welcome to the first video on this channel. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail, today I'll be discussing Manchester City's recent defeat to Tottenham. However, by no means will my channel be solely focused on football. I plan on making other types of videos too. I feel like restricting myself to one topic like football will make it harder for my personality to come across in videos, and I also want to delve into other topics. Right then, on to the topic of today's video. Man City lost 2-0 away at Spurs on Saturday, in a game that frankly, if you only looked at the stats, would look pretty lopsided. However, if you paid any attention to the game itself, the score was more than justified. Spurs defended resolutely once they got the lead, and the numerous shots that City took didn't trouble Lloris one bit. Before discussing City, I just want to reiterate that Spurs played very well in this game and fully deserved the win. Although I do still think it's too early to make title predictions, call me cautious, Spurs do look very solid at the moment. On the City side of things, this game really encapsulated the problems that City have had in recent weeks, where the team haven't been able to score during games. After 8 Premier League games, City sit at a -1 goal difference, having only scored 10 goals in those 8 games. I won't be delving too much into the analysis, I just want to address my thoughts on the game and the reaction post-game. I plan on talking about how sour football discussions are in general in a future video, but I'll touch on it for a bit for now. I, as a City fan and a football fan in general, am usually an optimist, sometimes to a fault. I tend to hate it when football fans are reactionary, and so I try not to make rash claims after a game. In the football sphere on YouTube, I think there's an abundance of reactionary YouTubers, and a lot of the times it feels over-exaggerated. That reactionary side of football is ever present whenever looking at results such as this one. The Pep Fraudiolas will be out in full force anytime City drop points. And while banter is normal, these comments don't provide anything meaningful to the discourse. Fraud, flopped, and washed comments abandon any semblance of nuance whatsoever. Not only for Pep, but for any team and any player in general. I'll save the rest of my rant for my future video. City at times during the first half looked threatening, but after Heung-min Son's goal, and certainly in the second half, the team looked devoid of ideas. Pep has to be criticized for the performance, as these types of displays have been occurring more frequently. Although I stress that this abnormal season is a factor, that excuse can only go so far. Mahrez and Bernardo did not cover themselves in glory in this game. Mahrez in particular, I feel like he was not up to task on that day. I also have to criticize Pep because it took him 72 minutes to finally make a substitution when it was clear the game was getting away from them. From the beginning of the second half, prior to Lo Celso's goal, you could tell that every attack was being repelled and the play was stagnant. The game needed a spark because Spurs looked comfortable defending. Going into last season, City didn't replace Kompany, which at the time I thought was okay, and I believe the same thing has happened this season with David Silva. David Silva is sorely missed, someone with impeccable touch, someone to find the seams and zip the ball through. I assumed Foden would take up the mantle, but his style differs a bit. I believe Foden isn't as effective as the left-sided number 8 and works better on the right half space, either as an 8 or less so out wide. I think Gundogan gets too much hate simply for not being Fernandinho or David Silva. He does his role diligently, but is a lightning rod for criticism. He's of course not the David Silva solution, but he does do a job in midfield. During the summer, there were small links with midfielders like Houssem Aouar from Lyon, but those rumors didn't gain any traction. Hindsight is 2020, but a few months into the season, and it looks like City will already need to bring in another midfielder next summer. This is a really left field shout, but I really like the look of Ricky Puig from Barca. Hear me out, City haven't been linked with him at all, and I do wonder if he's physical enough to handle the Prem. But from the times I watched him at Barca last season, he was breathtaking. Another creative outlet other than Messi. He's out of favor under Koeman right now, which I find astonishing because he's too good to be sitting on the bench. This is just wishful thinking. I just wanted to gush about Ricky Puig for a second, and I doubt Barca would ever let him go unless he really pushed for a move. Pep last week signed a 2-year contract extension, so his short-term future isn't up in the air anymore. Like I said before, I consider myself an optimist, and I believe that Pep committing his future to Man City is a positive, as the players will know he's in it for the long haul, and a certain someone might be more inclined to join the club. City have faced Olympiacos by the time you're listening to this. Olympiacos do have a lot of players out, so I hope a few of the academy guys get a look in. That's it for this video. If you stayed here long enough, why not consider sticking around? I plan on not actively telling people to subscribe, but feel free to do so.